Catherine's brother launched a verbal blitz, claiming Jack killed his sister. Upon learning the truth, Annie and her dad returned to the small house. After cooling off, Jack realized his attitude was like spoiled milk. He apologized and promised to do better next time. After a brief sweet moment, the day for Annie to leave finally arrived. It was solely due to work commitments. She had a young son who needed her care. Jack expressed his understanding, yet this farewell was truly a heart-wrenching experience. Who knows when they'll meet again? They kissed deeply for a long time, and as her car vanished, Jack was left in a daze. Next day, Annie reached work. Her boss, like a detective, inquired about her trip. She shook her head, denying it all. She said those letters were Jack's doodles, with no plans to publicize their saga. After a few days, they almost returned to their lives before they met. Annie was busy with work and kids, while Jack was happily drowning in boat repairs. During this time, the company received another surprise letter, but this time Jack's and Catherine's names were hilariously swapped. Furthermore, this letter seemed a bit more seasoned. It was pretty obvious it was Catherine writing to Jack. Annie didn't give the letter to her boss, but hid it. She didn't want Jack's private matters exposed again. They kept in constant touch. Annie hesitated to speak about the letter, but finally asked, "Why did you come to see me?" After months of longing, Jack grew tired of the inland and would return home with Data, leaving 2 glasses of wine ready. Turns out, Jack didn't follow Catherine due to his dad's partying habit causing trouble. Though he's sober now, Jack still felt uneasy, and that's why he skipped out on accompanying Annie to the city back then. Soon after, he followed Anna's directions and landed in front of a house, probably thinking, "Mom, I'm back." Weeks later, they reunited. The boy didn't reject his potential girlfriend. Jack finally relaxed as they 3 chatted and laughed at the dining table. With the kid around, they didn't dare open the wine. Jack sipped wine on the couch temporarily. Next days, Annie worked while Jack drove the boy. They also took free time to introduce the little boy to new things, and their bond grew quicker than Annie expected. But just as she was daydreaming about a lovely future, disaster struck. Jack found the bottle and letters he'd thrown into the sea ages ago. You won't believe it. Before Annie could ask what he was doing with the stuff, Jack's gaze landed on the bottle on the bed. Where did you get that? With things reaching this point, Annie had no choice but to spill the beans on how she found it, and of course, drama. Jack was trudging his way outside in the pouring rain while Annie, clad in her pajamas, was hastily following behind to explain, "I'm really sorry. I was truly scared. I feared telling you would push you away, just like now." Seeing her insist on leaving, Annie blocked the way, shouting, "Does it not matter? What's our result? I gave those letters to her, not to you. Not to all your friends who know my business. My life was turned upside down by those 3 letters. I never intended to write those 3 letters down. You have to believe me. I actually wrote 2 to Jack." Finally, Annie had an idea and handed Jack her last letter, written by Catherine before her surgery. She mumbled to herself about missing Catherine, then sat at the bedside, pleading, "I want to keep this." She took her hand. However, she couldn't hold on to Catherine. Jack returned to the small town, and that last letter allowed her to let go of a lot. She returned Catherine's belongings to Jack without alerting anyone, but her mother was watching every move. Catherine's brother found her, proving her change of heart towards Jack. The family forgave themselves thanks to Anna's last letter. Despite her mistakes, for Jack, receiving a reply from Catherine meant everything, and over time, her last bit of resentment towards Annie vanished into thin air. Thanks to Jack's brother, she completed the boat project ahead of schedule. Annie arrived promptly on the 25th, but before she could greet Jack, she noticed the glaring Catherine on the boat, and her smile was replaced by fuming with jealousy. She waited alone on the boat for Jack's response, her emotions bubbling like yeast in dough. Her feelings were all tied up in the boat. Her expression turned serious, and with jealousy, she left the dock solo. Coincidentally, Jack's dad witnessed it. That night, low after not seeing Annie, Jack invited his dad to the bar. His dad shared what he'd seen, hoping his son could start anew, leaving past shadows behind. However, This thoroughly annoyed him, and the choice was unmistakably clear. From yesterday to tomorrow, what to choose? After parting ways with his dad, Jack returned. On the bed, a box appeared out of nowhere. He turned in the lamp, and the words slowly emerged. You always knew where you belonged. You always knew where you belonged. I call you that kind of person. The text kept appearing. She picked up the card, and a compass was revealed, marking the moment she had to choose between her future and her past. Early morning, with her father's blessings, she sailed inland. A purposeful journey never feels lonely. Despite the hardships along the way, she held on to the hope of seeing Annie soon. She journeyed day and night, but just as she was about to reach the inland, a sudden flash of red light caught her attention. Out of kindness, she risked approaching and found a family of 3 in distress. Jack instantly rescued them without hesitation. Mother fell into the water accidentally. Jack jumped in to save her, but while she reached the boat, Jack was lost at sea forever.